Hi there. We're going to try and recreate this advertisement. Face whispering into an ear, which is an interesting little project. We're not going to do exactly the same, but the same kind of thing to show a technique in which you can make something such as this. So I found a picture of an ear, and I'm going to place on top of this a picture of a face, which is going to be my kind of whispering ear shape. So I'm just going to roughly position it there. I'm going to drag it down underneath and change my top layer to overlay so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do Control T on the wrong layer. Control T for transform, which will let me move this around. I'm going to position her face about there so I can stretch this piece of ear. Okay, once I've got her position where I want, I'm going to use the object selection tool to left click and drag a box just around her face. Brilliant. So this is marked out this kind of silhouette. I'm going to select my ear layer again. I can really turn this off again because I'm done with this. See, I've still got my selection free. And then I'm going to go to filter, liquify. There we go. Now, hopefully you should be able to see the piece of the ear and the silhouette. Show images needs to be on in these options down here if you can't see it. I've also got show mask turned on, and I've selected it to red just because it helps me being able to see it. Right, I'm gonna use the forward warp tool, which is the top button over here, and just start dragging this across. I'm thinking I'm going to turn show images off. No, show images does need to be on. I'm getting some it's going to show in the original ear and the after kind of state. What I'm trying to do is just kind of drag the skin texture across till it meets the edge of the mask. Now there will be some distortion, but we'll clean that up afterwards. That's probably got it. Let's click OK. And you can see we've dragged this shape off here, but there is some stretching in the texture. So what I would like to do is grab my clone stamp tool, alt click, which turns it into a target, and select some of the skin from over here, and just kind of draw in a little bit, keeping the selection up so I don't go over the edges. We can just kind of blend the two things together. Let's try selecting from the ear down there as well. You've got to be a little careful. As I'm clicking, just at the bottom of the ear, you can see the sampled area. If I was to go over like a darker part of the ear, it would kind of mess up the effect and draw some of that darker stuff in, which you don't always want. So going okay there. I'm going to create a new layer on top of everything. Get my brush tool up. I want to try and paint some kind of highlights in. Just let me get a ordinary general brush, soft round. Wants to be a little bit bigger than that. I'm using the square brackets to increase the size. Now with any of the brush tools, if you hold down Alt and left click, it turns into the eyedropper tool, so you can pick up a colour and just kind of draw it in. I've got my opacity up to 100% and my flow down to 38 here, so I can just kind of subtly add in some highlights. You actually don't need to be too exacting with this, because we're using an extra layer. If I decide the effect is too strong, I can turn down the opacity and blend the two images together. So we'll do Control D to deselect that, and we're doing quite a good job there. I'm going to do Control Z to put my selection back, and then I'm going to go Select Inverse. So I've got everything apart from this face section selected, and I'm looking for the burn tool, which is down here under there. Well, dodge, burn and square. I'm not sure which one's on top by default, but the burn tool will darken an area. I've got my exposure turned down quite low, because if we turn it up too high, you can make quite a lot of right, this isn't doing anything, so there's nothing to burn because there's nothing on this layer. So what I might do, just to be on the safe side, duplicate my face layer. Let's turn that one off. Just set this to normal. There we go, now it's working. Can you see I'm just adding some kind of shading, like the little face is just casting a little bit of shadow, and the mask protects it, which makes it kind of easy, with it, so you don't have to worry about going over the edges. And we'll leave it there, which is reasonable. Thank you for watching. Have a go at doing that.